BTS News Today. When the sun had not fully set and the sky over Seoul still reflected a soft orange glow, millions of armies around the world suddenly received a notification that made their hearts leap out of their chests. Jungkook is now live. 6 simple words instantly turned an ordinary evening into a global moment filled with tension, excitement, and an overwhelming sense of curiosity. But what made the entire world go wild wasn't just the fact that Jungkook appeared on screen without any prior announcement. It was what he was doing. Cooking jjamppong in his own kitchen with a level of seriousness he usually reserved for hitting high notes on stadium stages. There was no grand opening, no studio lighting, no glamorous camera setup. Jungkook appeared wearing a simple black hoodie, slightly messy hair, and an apron that looked like he had put it on in a hurry. Yet that simplicity was exactly what froze the world. Within 2 minutes, viewers rose from 300,000 to 2 million. 5 minutes later, the number shot past 7 million. And by the 15-minute mark, the live had become one of the most watched real-time broadcasts in the platform's history. More than 10 million people watching Jungkook prepare a spicy Korean dish with a face full of quiet concentration. But the captivating part wasn't just the cooking. There was something different about the atmosphere that night, something that made millions of armies sit in an odd silence as if they instinctively knew there was a deeper story hidden behind Jungkook's hands chopping onions, stirring chilies, and tasting the simmering broth to the beginning of the live. Jungkook gave a small smile as he lifted the camera. "I'm hungry," he said casually, though his voice sounded slightly raspy, as if something inside him hadn't fully settled. "So I'm going to make jjamppong." That short sentence, which on any other day would simply sound cute or funny, carried a strange heaviness. Maybe it was his expression, which seemed to hold back something unspoken. Maybe it was the way his eyes occasionally drifted into emptiness before refocusing on the ingredients. Or maybe Army had become so familiar with Jungkook that even the smallest shift in his tone felt like a clue to a deeper mystery. When he turned on the stove and heated a large pan, the camera shook slightly. Jungkook let out a small laugh and admitted he hadn't eaten since noon. "I've been busy." "Yeah, busy with stuff," he said without elaborating. "So I thought I'd do a live. That way I won't cook alone." There was a faint loneliness in his words, subtle yet unmistakable, but it slipped by too quickly to grasp clearly. Still, armies all over the world felt it, like a cold breeze passing quickly yet leaving a trace on the skin. He began sautéing garlic and onions, the aroma of the dish almost seeping through the screen and pulling viewers into his kitchen. For a moment, everything felt normal, even comforting. That is until Jungkook froze while adding spicy sauce to the pan. He stared at the camera for a long time, too long to be accidental. "What are you doing right now?" he asked softly, his voice gentle, almost fragile. Comments flooded in at lightning speed, but Jungkook kept staring, as though waiting for a different kind of answer, something he couldn't read from the streaming chat. There was a strange quietness within the chaos of a live watched by millions. And in that stillness, Jungkook looked like someone quietly hoping for something he wasn't receiving. That he lowered his gaze, holding the wooden spoon in his hand, slowly stirring the fiery red broth. "I've been thinking a lot lately," he murmured. "About the future, about music, about, yeah, a lot of things." He paused. "About you too." Comments exploded with concern and questions, but Jungkook only gave a faint smile, a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "I'm okay," he said gently. "It's just these days feel a little strange." Then he went back to cooking, clearly not wanting to explain further. But the tension had already grown roots. Everyone watching knew something lingered behind those words. Silence filled the room again as Jungkook grabbed a large bowl and poured the steaming jjamppong into it. The rising steam partially covered his face. He blew gently, then took a bite, and the reaction that followed made millions laugh. His eyes widened, his mouth opened dramatically, and he let out a shout. "WH! It's so spicy." But behind the laughter, something returned. His eyes watered not just from the heat, but from something he kept pushing down, something heavier than chili. A few minutes later, after eating half the bowl, Jungkook put down his chopsticks and spoke again, this time more seriously. "I want to say something," he began. "Maybe I'll go live more often. Or maybe less often. I don't know yet." He laughed, but the sound carried exhaustion. "I just want you to know that whatever I do, you're always the first in my mind." He looked at the camera, this time without smiling. His gaze was piercing, honest, unfiltered. "You know, life changes. I changed too." His eyes moved slightly, as if searching for the right words. "I'm trying to be the best version of myself. For you. For me. For the people who matter to me." Comments flooded in again. Many asked if he was alright. Many told him they were proud. Many begged him to rest. But Jungkook seemed to have placed a wall between himself and the rush of reactions. He continued eating, but in silence. The camera captured every tiny detail. His hair falling over his eyes, the slight tremble in his hand as he lifted the bowl, and the faint smile that didn't resemble the bright one he usually had. The most striking moment came at minute 43, when a viewer left a comment. "Where is Jimin? Are you cooking for him?" Jungkook froze. His hand stopped midair, chopsticks still suspended. His expression changed quickly. Surprise, a suppressed laugh, and then something deeper. Something unexplainable. "Jimin," he repeated softly, almost whispering. "He's busy. But I miss him." He let out a short laugh that wavered. "Too many things I want to tell him." The world exploded. Fans screamed, cried, speculated, and clipped the moment instantly. But before the chaos could spiral further, something unexpected happened. A small notification sound came from Jungkook's phone. He glanced at it, his eyes widened, and his smile appeared. This time genuine, warm, alive. "Embarrassing," he muttered, covering his face with both hands. "He's watching." The comments raced in, "Jimin is watching." But Jungkook only laughed, refusing to answer. Yet this laugh was different, softer, more relieved. As if someone he trusted had just reminded him everything was fine. But the warmth didn't last long. Soon after, Jungkook's face turned serious again. "I have a lot to tell you," he whispered. "But not today." He waved at the camera. "Thanks for eating with me. I love you. Really." The screen went black, but the world didn't calm down. Within minutes, social media exploded. Hashtags about Jungkook, Jjamppong, the emotional live, and Jimin watching dominated trends in more than 20 countries. Clips were replayed, dissected, slowed down, and examined like evidence in a mystery film. Why did Jungkook look emotional? What was he thinking about lately? Why did he hint about the future? And the biggest question, what did Jimin text him that made him blush in front of millions? No one knew. Not yet. But one thing was certain. That night was not just about Jungkook cooking jjamppong. Something deeper, softer, heavier lay beneath the surface. Something felt, not spoken. Something that seemed like the beginning of a turning point in Jungkook's life. And the world had just witnessed the very first page of it, right there in front of his kitchen stove.